What is up, guys? Reaction here, and welcome back to another video. Now, today I'm with Legendary Masked Man, better known as Logan, who is a very good, actually very great Smash Bros. Player. How you doing today?
Pretty good.
So if you guys have not seen any of his tournaments or his content, I will leave a link in the description. He's very good with Captain Falcon, and he's learning a lot of new characters, so check him out. I'll put his YouTube and his Twitch link in the description. But today we're here to talk about Min Min, because, you know, she just got announced. So, I already saw the trailer. I know you saw it later than I did. So, why don't you just give me your first impressions? Let's start there.
Alright, my first impression was they have arms. They have very, very long arms.
As Sakurai said,
imagine...
what is arms? As Sakurai said, what is arms?
Oh, yeah, arms is, I don't really know. I haven't played it myself, but I think it's just,
Yeah, I've played a little bit, so I'll do a little bit of an explanation. Arms is, it's not Punch-Out, but, it's basically a boxing game. If you haven't played it on the Switch, it's very fun. It does get very old very fast. There's not a lot to do, but the character designs and the music are very great. There's not like a full set story mode, but yeah, basically they just have extendable arms, and you know, you can punch. So, you know, F smash from half the way across the stage. You know.
Fair and balanced as all things should be.
Yeah. So I mean, you being a character like Falcon, who kind of has to be up close and personal with your opponent, what do you really think about him so far, or Min Min, her?
I'd say if we're just talking like competitive scene, I don't think she will be completely meta, but I do think she will be at least like, I don't know, B tier, at least like a high mid tier. I don't. There's no way she's gonna be horrible. I mean,
no.
How do you say a character like this is bad?
I mean, especially after Byleth.
Yeah.
I mean, Byleth wasn't terrible, like you said, but Byleth was what, C tier, I think.
Also kind of mid tier, something like that. Yeah.
But I think she'll definitely be higher than Byleth. But let's start with this. What do you think, aside from the fact, I think we can both agree, Joker is definitely the best DLC that's been released.
Yes, absolutely.
So, after Joker, how would you rank the rest of them?
Well, I would say definitely Terry next.
Right.
Yeah, I think he's like A tier. Then I think all of them are like mainly really close because we have Hero, we got Banjo, we have Byleth. I'm not gonna count Min Min yet, just because.
Yeah, I that's what I was saying. I can't really count. I've tried to talk to some other people, but you can't count Min Min until you play her because yeah, we saw Sakurai play her, but at the same time, you can't really say, oh yeah, she's so good because I haven't touched her yet, so I can't really give a clear definitive answer.
Yeah.
But for the last three, I'd put Hero and then Banjo. I think the one thing that irks me about Banjo is just Wonder Wing is a really good move, but I think, I mean, I get the fact you can only do it 5 times per stock. It's for balance, but I feel like it's just kind of like if you can kill someone twice in a 3-stock match with Wonder Wing without losing a stock, at that point, if you're high enough percentage, just jump off and you get it again, and then you can kill him. So I mean. It's a fair move, but I think the fact that it has limited uses, if you're playing someone and you're going back and forth and you run out of Wonder Wings, it kind of hurts you as you play.
Yeah.
And I don't think Byleth is horrible, don't get me wrong, but I think Byleth is very slow, and a lot of her moves take a lot of time to charge. So I think it gives her, or him, whatever you want to call him, it gives them a lot of vulnerability. And looking at Min Min, it does give her a lot of vulnerability with some of the arms, like Sakurai said, that take longer. You can jump right in between those arms and just start hitting them. So you're very vulnerable to get attacked. So, I mean, casually, at least stage-wise, the stage looks like a casual player's heaven.
Yes, absolutely. The stage looks awesome, I'm not gonna lie.
I do like how they did the items. I will admit the items are very interesting because, I mean, it's true to ARMS form. The tracks from ARMS are amazing.
Yeah.
And they added most of those in. But no, Who, if you were to say you would predict anyone from ARMS? I mean, you don't know a lot about ARMS, you said, but if you had to predict anyone, would you have guessed her?
Um, if I actually, like, let's say I knew what ARMS was, I do think
Right.
that would be a very, very viable candidate.
Right, and
Um,
ARMS did do a popularity contest at one point, and she won, so I think that had to do something with it.
yeah,
I mean, Sakurai said the director of ARMS wanted her, her and the ninja. I like the ninja. I think the ninja could have been cool, but also
yeah.
at the same time, the ninja I could already see being partway Greninja with having a teleport move. I could just see that. But I definitely think if you're trying to run doubles and you're trying to attack one person and there's someone like a nest behind you who's ranged, you're gonna get screwed from behind.
Yeah. Like
Um, Go ahead.
like the thing about this character is I see like they have a lot of like ranged attacks, but as soon
Mhm.
as you get in, like kind of like how Sakurai said, as soon as you get in, like I really
Right.
don't see a great disadvantage state.
Right.
Which me in the mind of my Captain Falcon, I'm thinking, okay, I go in, I hit Nair 2, and she dies.
Right. Speaking of Falcon, he got some recognition there.
Oh yeah,
Which,
all those are becoming emotes to my server. So
yes. But I definitely think that was a very. I mean, I guess if you know Arms good enough, that opening thing of him just eating noodles and being in the ramen place, you would know who it is.
that was yeah. If you knew what
Um,
Arms was, you knew that was just Min Min right there.
I haven't played Arms in a while, so I didn't really remember. But I do think she's a good addition. I think if they put Springman in, it would have been nice, as in addition to the fact that assist trophies can become characters. But I also think Sakurai doesn't really want to open to that. Not because he doesn't want to do that, but just because if he does that, it's just going to be a lot more people asking for assist trophy characters. And plus, if he
Well,
did that, right, and you would have to develop a lot more characters as assist trophies because you can't take assist trophies out and put new ones in without working on those. But I was looking back the other day because me and Mr. Vaca did a reaction to Byleth when she was announced, and it's been over 5 months already since a new character. So actually, well, technically she was announced today. The Arms itself, like rep, was announced, but she was announced today.
yeah,
I mean, she comes out in a week, so I'm definitely gonna play her. Um, but I'm very excited to see who the next character is. Personally, I think the third-party support for this game, whether it's like Arms, where they've been working with Nintendo, or Banjo, has been amazing. Um,
yeah.
on the topic of third parties, well, sort of. I assume you saw the amiibo, right?
What did you say?
Did you see the amiibo that were announced?
I didn't see all of them, but I did see Joker. I did even
Yeah,
see Joker.
Joker and Hero were the only two that were announced. Heroes looks okay. I think Heroes looks a little cheaper, but Joker's looks amazing.
Joker's looks sick.
I'm definitely picking that up. But my
Oh
question
yeah,
with Joker, or not Joker, with Amiibo with DLC characters is Microsoft, because Shovel Knight, they had the people over at Yacht Club Games develop the Amiibo. I wonder, is Microsoft going to develop it, or is Nintendo going to develop it, and is Microsoft going to let Nintendo develop it? Because that would be actually pretty cool. I assume they've already gotten the yes from them, because Sakurai said this was filmed back in May, so
yeah.
it's been over a month. So my guess is that I mean, they would have had the okay from Microsoft. Why would they release third-party amiibo and not say something about uh, Banjo not being there, unless they're
Or
in,
just backtrack even more. Like, why would they announce the character if they couldn't make an amiibo for it? You know?
right. And I feel like that's something with how Smash Bros is. You kind of have to ask that question:
Yeah.
Are we going to be able to do this for your game? And that also raises the question: will they bring the Banjo Kazooie games to Nintendo platforms with amiibo support if they make an amiibo?
That I did not think about that actually. That's a good question actually.
Because they did that with Mega Man, where they had the Mega Man amiibo, where obviously it didn't do amazing things for the game. It only gave you E-tanks, but at the same time, it's still kind of cool to have it in the game because
Yeah.
Banjo Kazooie games would be very fun to have on a Nintendo console. So that was just kind of in my head. But no, so aside from competitive scene, before we touch a little more on that, while we're on the topic of new fighters, there's a lot of people that want a bunch of different characters. What would you want for Smash, and what do you think realistically could get into Smash next?
Two characters that I want for Smash would be Dante from Devil May Cry and
Mhm.
Raiden from Metal Gear. I
Mhm.
think both of those characters would be sick.
Right. I was saying too, I definitely think Nintendo should stop trying to add new characters. I mean, one or two more make sense, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, well, the point of Smash Bros is adding all these characters into this maybe final game by Sakurai," which honestly, as much as I love the Smash Bros series, this really should be the final game because
Yeah, yeah,
everyone is here. It's like Nintendo can obviously port it and keep making more characters and make the game huge expansive. Obviously they don't want to do that, but I think adding new modes, maybe developing a second story for the game would be great. A new and just always updating the graphics for new consoles. But I think if you make new games all the time, what do you do after this? Either you're gonna have to cut characters, or what do you do? Just start over? Like
right.
you can't go anywhere from here.
Yeah,
I don't know, and you don't want the series to get stale. I mean, it's there's been a lot of entries. You don't want the series to get stale. Um, But I definitely think Nintendo should try to focus on adding more characters to the roster from series that are already in the game. I know people are like, "Oh, well, Sonic only has one rep." Do we really need another Pokemon rep? Not
don't add
really.
Shadow. Please don't add Shadow. Don't do it.
I don't even mean Shadow. I just mean a character from the Sonic franchise,
Right.
like Sonic. I don't know. What are some other franchises? Like another Bayonetta character, maybe.
Yeah,
Like a lot of these franchises don't have a lot of love.
I wouldn't mind Black Shadow.
Or I mean honestly, like even a character from Kid Icarus. I mean obviously you can't really go anywhere after Dark Pit, but still even a smaller character or even another character from Zelda that's not another Link. Like that would kind
Right.
of be cool. Um I don't really think we need another Mario character. We have a lot of Mario characters.
Also, no Fire Emblem reps, please.
Yeah. See,
We had enough of those.
I think Violet got a lot of hate for no reason. I mean, she wasn't.
Yeah,
I get the point. Oh, it's another Fire Emblem rep, but Violet did something they've never done with a Fire Emblem rep, and I understand there's a lot of
yeah,
them, but I definitely think even if they had to take some of them out that were Echo Fighters, it makes sense to put Violet in because Violet did a lot different from every other sword fighter in the game.
yeah.
Like most of her main moves weren't sword fighter or like sword moves. They were like the axe or the bow or the lance. But speaking of moves, let's talk about the control set for Min Min. It's definitely very like if you're planning on maining Min Min, you're gonna have to get used to the control set. It's definitely weird.
Yeah, yeah. I saw what is it when I looked through the trailer and it said, wait, what did it say? Dash attack, jump kick. Okay,
Hmm.
so when it says like A, what is it? It said A was like her left arm and B was her right arm,
Right.
and you gotta like control the two separately. I like how they are adding like different concepts into the game and stuff like that.
Right. It's definitely
And
innovative.
yeah, and honestly, I'm like, okay, that's gonna be it's gonna be interesting to try to learn. It's like
Right.
think hmm, I think it'd be like I think you can kind of compare Min Min to a Shoto. I'm not gonna lie,
Hmm.
whereas like they're very different from the rest of the cast. Like you have to learn something completely separate. Like how
Right.
much of the character is gonna port onto another character? Like if
Hmm.
you go and play Ken and then you go and play like Mario, you're not gonna do a command input upbeat with Mario, you know?
Right. But the
And
other
same
thing
thing
is,
here. You're not gonna.
right.
Hmm?
I think that the thing with learning other characters, and I know you've been trying to learn a lot of other characters, is whether you're going from Mario to Link to Falcon to Ness to Ken, like you were saying, they are different, but you always have the same control scheme, as in
Yeah.
neutral B, and then side B, up B, down B, and then your tilt attacks, your smash attacks. With Min Min, it's kind of the same. You still have your up B, you still have down B, but the neutral B and the your neutral special and your neutral attack is just very different.
Yeah.
Just because of how, and I think it's definitely very innovative. They let you map your controls now for Smash Bros. Onto Pro controllers and to Joy Cons. I mean, you've always been able to do it with which we'll call it, but you can also map buttons now from the Switch menu too.
Yeah.
So I definitely think if you play a lot of platformer games and you're used to like, oh, the Smash Bros. Control set that you have for jumping and stuff, you can map that, which I definitely think is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did look at some of the alternate costumes. They're okay. I think they're definitely very bland compared to how Byleth was with them, because Byleth's kind of represent other characters. Hers are more of just color variations, which they're still very cool, but it's definitely a step down. I think Byleth definitely had the best. Byleth and Joker probably had the best. Or no, Byleth. I think no. I think Hero definitely had the best
Yeah.
alts. Hero and then Joker and Byleth were close. I think Byleth beats Joker just because of the different characters they're representing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think so. I think that's been all of it. That's just a kind of basic overview. Um,
Yeah.
if you guys want a more in-depth review of the character and everything competitive scene, Legendary will be streaming that at some point. Um, I don't know if he's already streamed it, depending on when this comes out on Monday. But thank you for stopping in.
Yep.
All right, I'll talk to you.
See ya.
All right, guys. So into the second part of today's podcast. As I was talking about franchises getting old and stale. No, I'm not talking about Assassin's Creed today. I am talking about Crash Bandicoot. Now, I grew up with Crash Bandicoot 3. I never beat the game. I grew up with playing on it on a PS3 when I was really young. So it was a very interesting experience growing up and playing that game. But I saw the new trailer today for Crash 4. It's about time. And I just wanted to give some of my thoughts on it. So I'm going to say right off the bat, the game looks great. I will be heavily criticizing it, just because. Like, oh yeah, you didn't play the game 22 years ago when it first came out. But that's the point. The game came out 22 years ago. Now I get that this is kind of Sony's Mario, but I think they should have left the franchise in the past. Now they did the Insane Trilogy on the PS4, but as far as I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped came out on the PS2. No game for the PS3 and no game for the PS4. I could be wrong there. But I just think as a whole, I don't think it works. The new trailer shows some power-ups and it just doesn't make sense to me. It just the power-ups seem way too much like Mario, and I don't know. But I want to see. It was on PlayStation, obviously. What system did? I'm googling this now. What system did Crash Bandicoot 3 come out on? It came out on the PlayStation, the original PlayStation. I swear it was on the PS2 too. I think it was also ported to the PS2. But I definitely think they should have left it in the past. Now, am I going to play the game in October when it comes out on my PlayStation 4? Yeah, and I'll probably stream it too. But I don't think they took the right approach. I think it's good, but I don't think it's nostalgic. Now, I could be wrong. I don't know what happened at the end of 3. I have plans to go back and play the three games from the Insane Trilogy. But I want to play 3 because I grew up with 3, number 1. And number 2, I want to see what happened at the end. A lot of people were saying it filled in some gaps, which makes sense. But I think looking at this game, even if you only played 1 and 2, Uka Uka's not in it, which I'm not sure if he died at the end of the game. Again, I'm not sure, so you can't really pull spoilers here. but I'm not 100%
Here's a
sure.
result from search.
Thank you, Google. I don't know what Google was searching things. But I'm not really sure what happened to him. But they recast the voice actor as a female, as a different character. Nothing against it. Seems pretty cool. I like the joke at the end with how many times have you defeated this guy, and Coco says 3, and she goes, really, only 3? Thought it was more. The other thing that surprises me is in an age where voice acting in games is a lot more prominent. I guess Crash never had a voice, which makes sense, but even Mario doesn't have that much of a voice. He just has sound effects, and I'm very surprised they haven't tried to give him a voice. Um, at some points, I'm upset. It does kind of stink, but at the same time, I'm very happy they didn't, because I think if they did the wrong person, it wouldn't make sense. But I think, like with Sonic, I know the Sonic movie wasn't amazing, and I know there's going to be a Mario Bros. Movie, but I think it could have opened the window for Sony, who produces movies, to make a Crash Bandicoot movie. And I think they could, but I feel like if he was silent the whole time and it relied on other people, it would work, but at the same time, it would be a little lackluster. But it's not really a movie. But breaking down more of the trailer, it looks very cool. The power-ups, I think, are very dumb. To me, it feels like it's pulling Mario vibes. It just gives me Mario vibes. But aside from that, it's like, it looks very good as a game. I just think, I don't know. I also don't like his model. I think they could just, I don't know. The model looks a little off to me. It just could be because I haven't played the game in years. But I wish the model was a little different. I'm not sure if it's the hair or not. I just wish the model was a bit different. Um, there we go. I got kicked out of the call. But yeah, I definitely think it could have been different. And on Smash Bros. Topic, do I think Crash Bandicoot will ever make it in, even with the fact he's getting a new game? No. I think even though Banjo wasn't on it, I don't think. I mean, that would be cool. I think Microsoft has Banjo Kazooie. I definitely think it would work to have Crash in there because Smash Bros. Is a celebration of all gaming icons, whether their series are dead or alive, whether it be F-Zero or it be another series. I personally think Crash should be in, purely because he is an icon of gaming history. But I'm also not really sure if Nintendo and Sony could work out that deal. I mean, Sony and Skylanders worked out a deal, and Nintendo was also part of that with Skylanders. So maybe it could work. But like I was saying, if they would also have to be able to make an amiibo of him, which I guess would make sense. Um, I feel like this could go two ways. If Nintendo wanted to do it and they reached out to Sony, if Crash Bandicoot 4, I think it'll do well. I don't think it'll do as well as the other games. Maybe as well as some of them, but I don't think it'll be the best of all out of the four of them. But my guess is if it doesn't do amazing or as Sony wants it to, and Nintendo comes to them with the idea, they'll say yes. I mean, they tried their hand at copying Smash Bros. With PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, but it didn't work. So that's another reason I'm like, well, I don't really think Sony would want to do that or Nintendo would want to because Sony already tried to rip them off. But at the same time, maybe they do. So I'm not really sure on what would happen. I do think it would be very cool to see him in the game, and I think it would be very cool to have him in the game. Even if Coco, like they could have Coco as an Echo Fighter and like Dr. Neocortex as a assist trophy, like with Dr. Wily. I definitely think it could work. But yeah, so give me your thoughts in the comments below. Are these podcasts going to be a daily thing, or the things when I only upload 3 times a week? No, I think when big announcements come out, so like if Xbox Series X or the PS5 reveals anything new, and if it's worth my time, I'll cover it on a podcast with someone or in a podcast like this where I have a lot to talk about. If it's not anything important to me or something I don't really care about, I'll probably just talk about it briefly in a video. But Wednesday I will be back with actual videos. But thank you guys for sticking around if you did watch this, and if you do enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I will try to get these podcasts on some other platforms. So if you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments below. Thank you. Bye bye.